The Girl in the Mask. It started on Halloween night in our small town, one of those quiet places where the streetlights buzz louder than the people. Every house had fake cobwebs, plastic skeletons, and candy bowls waiting for kids in costumes that looked like dollar store nightmares. We were too old for trick-or-treating, really, but too young to give it up. So we went out anyway. 5 of us, walking shoulder to shoulder, trading jokes, and daring each other to knock on the weird houses. Then she appeared. At first, I thought she was just another kid from the neighborhood. A small figure standing a few feet behind us, dressed in an old-fashioned white dress that brushed the ground. The kind of thing you'd see in faded photographs your grandmother kept in a trunk. But what caught me wasn't the dress. It was the mask. Porcelain, smooth, cracked along the cheek like it had fallen once and been glued back together. The painted lips curled into a delicate frozen smile. Her eyes, God, her eyes were completely black behind the slits. None of us remembered her joining us. No footsteps, no giggle, no wait up. She was just there, like she'd always been. "Who's the kid?" I asked. "Thought she was with you," said Ben. We laughed it off. Maybe she lived nearby. Maybe she was tagging along for candy. Kids do weird things on Halloween. But as we moved from one house to the next, her silence started to sink in. She never took candy, never spoke, just followed, always staying exactly 3 steps behind. If we slowed down, she slowed too. When we turned, she turned. And sometimes, when she passed under the streetlights, I could have sworn I saw fog leak out from behind the mask, like she was exhaling something that wasn't air. By the 5th house, I stopped pretending not to notice. Something was wrong. That's when I realized no one else could hear her footsteps but me. We laughed it off at first, nervous laughter that didn't sound like ours. The kind of laugh you use when your body already knows something's wrong, but your mouth hasn't caught up yet. She probably went home. Kids get tired. But as we moved on, every shadow behind us looked like her. Every rustle of leaves sounded like soft footsteps. And then at the next house, she was there again, standing at the end of the driveway, mask tilted, hands by her sides. "I swear she wasn't there a second ago," I whispered. No one spoke. The night had gone too quiet. Even the crickets had stopped. When I turned back to look again, she'd moved closer. We decided to split up, to make a game of it, like idiots. I went with Ben down Maple Street. The others went toward the cul-de-sac. The air felt heavier there, thicker somehow, like breathing through wet cloth. We joked louder than we needed to, trying to make it feel normal. That's when Ben tripped. His flashlight rolled forward, stopping at a pair of white shoes, small, scuffed, standing perfectly still. She was there, the girl in the mask. She reached up, touched the cracked cheek of the porcelain, and cocked her head. The crack had spread, thin as a hairline fracture across the mouth now. Ben whispered, "Hey kid, you okay?" And she moved, not like walking, more like sliding, her feet gliding silently over the pavement. The mask never blinking, never breaking that faint, painted smile. We bolted. I didn't even remember running, just the sound of my breath ragged in my chest and Ben's sneakers slapping the asphalt. When we found the others again, we tried to explain, but the words tangled in our mouths. She moved," I stammered. They didn't believe us. Of course they didn't, until we reached the next house. There, sitting neatly on the porch steps, was the mask. No girl, just the mask. Its hollow eyes stared up at us, catching the reflection of the porch light. Then, as we stood frozen, the front door creaked open. A woman's voice, soft, trembling, came from inside. "Is that you again? I told you to stop leaving this thing at my door." That's when I realized we weren't the first ones she'd followed. I didn't sleep that night. Every creak in the house sounded like footsteps. Every whisper of wind scraped along the window like fingernails. I kept my door shut, the lights on, staring at the mask lying there on my bed, its blank smile fixed on me, like it knew something I didn't. I tried to convince myself I was dreaming, that exhaustion had twisted everything. But then, it moved, just slightly. The crack along its cheek widened with a soft, splintering sound, like porcelain straining against bone. That's when I heard the voice, faint, muffled, like someone speaking from behind a wall. "Let me out!" I stumbled backward, knocking over my chair. My mom came running in, asking what was wrong. I pointed at the bed, at the mask, but it was gone. Sheets perfectly smooth, nothing there. She told me I needed sleep. Maybe she was right. So I tried. But at 3:07 a.m., I woke to the sound of something breathing under my bed. Not fast, not animal-like, slow, deliberate, human. I grabbed my flashlight, hand trembling so hard the beam danced across the room. When I crouched down to look, I saw it, the mask. But this time it wasn't empty. Behind the porcelain, two wet black eyes stared back at me, and the mouth, the crack was moving, stretching, smiling wider. I shot up, ran out of the room, and slammed the door. I could hear it on the other side, tiny footsteps, the sound of porcelain tapping the floor, and that whisper again. You wore me once. It's your turn now. I grabbed the mask, threw it into the fireplace, and lit the flame. I watched it burn, watched the paint bubble and the porcelain crack apart. I thought it was over. I thought fire would end it. Then I heard laughter, a child's laughter, coming from inside the fire. The mask split open like it was exhaling, and for a second I saw something step out of it, small, ash gray, with hollow eyes that reflected me. It looked right at me and whispered, "Your face fits perfectly." That's when the lights went out, and I felt porcelain press against my skin. I tried to tell myself it was just trauma, that the mind holds on to fear the way glass holds cracks, never fully mending. But every October, as the air turned sharp and the leaves curled dry at the edges, I felt her coming back. The first year it was faint, just a chill in the room, the feeling of being watched. The second year, I caught glimpses, a reflection in the mirror that didn't move when I did, the faint sound of a child humming behind closed doors. By the third, I stopped sleeping near mirrors altogether. Then came the fourth Halloween, 9 p.m., exactly like clockwork. I was in my room pretending to read when the streetlight outside flickered. The sound of kids laughing in the distance faded into something else, a low, rhythmic breathing that didn't belong to me. I looked out the window. There she was, the girl in the mask. Only now she was taller. Her white dress clung to her like it had been soaked and dried 100 times. She stood at the same spot where I first saw her years ago, her head tilted slightly, like always. But the mask, God, the mask, wasn't hers anymore. It was mine. My face, my eyes, my mouth, painted white, cracked along the cheek. The black that once bled from her eyes now streamed from mine. I stumbled back from the window, heart pounding. The reflection in the glass didn't move. It stared at me, lips curving into a smile I didn't make. Then it spoke. "You kept me too long." The lights flickered again. My phone screen turned on by itself, a photo, no number, just an image. Me, standing outside, wearing the mask. I dropped the phone, ran to the window. The street was empty, no kids, no girl, but on the glass, where my reflection should have been, there was a faint handprint. Small, pale, and right beside it, another one, larger, mine. And for the first time I realized something. Maybe I hadn't burned the mask. Maybe I'd only freed what was inside it. And now, it was learning to wear me. I didn't answer the door right away. Something in me already knew what it would be. 3 slow knocks, steady, patient, familiar. When I finally opened it, the night air felt thick. There was no one on the porch, no footsteps fading down the path. Just a small candy bag sitting in the middle of the welcome mat. Inside was a mask. Porcelain, smooth, perfect, still warm. But this time it wasn't cracked. It wasn't hers. It was mine. Every detail, the faint scar above the lip, the tired lines beneath the eyes, the exact shape of my mouth. I dropped it, stumbled backward, and it rolled face up across the floor, staring at me. That faint painted smile looked almost understanding. And then I saw her, at the far end of the street, beneath the flickering light. The girl in the mask, older now, taller, her hair longer, darker. She didn't move, didn't wave, just stood there, watching. For a heartbeat, I thought she might walk toward me. But instead, she tilted her head, slowly, deliberately, and pointed at the mask. Then she was gone. No wind, no sound, just gone. I tried to throw the mask away again, this time burying it deep in the woods. I even marked the spot. But every mirror I pass, every dark reflection, there she is, standing just behind me, smiling. And sometimes, when I smile back, she moves first. Maybe that's what she wanted all along, to be seen, to be remembered. Or maybe she's waiting for something worse. Because last night, when I woke up, I wasn't alone. I felt porcelain against my cheek, cool, familiar, and when I looked in the mirror, it fit perfectly. If you felt that chill run down your spine tonight, don't forget to like this video. It helps more people find our stories. Subscribe for new tales every night and share this one with someone brave enough to sleep with the lights off. Thank you for listening and watching. There's another story waiting for you right now on your screen. I'll see you back here tomorrow, if the mask lets me.